What if the most powerful food you could grow doesn't need a backyard, doesn't need good soil, and doesn't even need a full season to produce? Most people think growing your own food means a garden, a yard, good weather, the right zip code. But there's a category of food that breaks every single one of those assumptions, and the research behind it is not coming from wellness bloggers. It's coming from the USDA. In a 2012 study published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry, researchers at the University of Maryland analyzed 25 different crops and found that microgreens, plants harvested just 7 to 14 days after germination, contained on average 4 to 40 times more vitamins and nutrients than the exact same plant grown to full maturity. 4 to 40 times. And you can grow them in a spare corner of your kitchen. Stay with this video, because by the end, you're going to understand exactly how to build a food system that works in any living situation, and why the people doing this quietly at home right now are already ahead. Before we get into the setup, there's one mistake that causes almost every failed first tray, and it has nothing to do with the seeds. We'll get to that in a few minutes. When we do, it'll change how you think about the whole process. Step 1. Why microgreens belong in your food strategy. Let's talk about what you're actually building here, because this is not a hobby project. NASA's Food Systems Research Division has actively studied microgreens as a viable food source for long-duration space missions. The reason is straightforward: maximum nutrition, minimum space, minimum water, and a harvest cycle measured in days rather than months. When engineers designing life support systems for astronauts need a reliable food crop, they look at microgreens. That's the frame to carry with you through this entire guide. A 10 by 20 growing tray, the standard size used by both home growers and commercial operations, costs about $3 to $5 in total inputs per cycle. Seeds, soil, electricity. That same tray yields 4 to 8 ounces of microgreens that would cost you $10 to $25 at retail, and it does that every 7 to 14 days, year-round, in whatever space you have available. Think about what that means over 12 months, over 5 years. This is not a one-time experiment. It's a repeatable system. Now let's build it. Step 2. Choosing the right seeds. Here's something most beginners assume. Microgreen seeds must be special, expensive, hard to find. Not true. These are the exact same seeds you'd plant in a garden. The only difference is how densely you plant them and when you harvest. That's it. What does matter is germination rate. Because you're planting densely, sometimes thousands of seeds per tray, even a 10% drop in germination quality creates patchy, uneven growth that invites mold. Buy from bulk seed suppliers with strong reputations. True Leaf Market and Everwild Farms are two of the most consistently recommended sources in the microgreens community. Buying by the pound instead of by the packet cuts your cost per tray dramatically. Most guides give you a list of 15 varieties and send you off to figure it out. That's not what this is. Here are the 3 crops that give beginners the best combination of ease, speed, and nutritional payoff. Radish, the most forgiving beginner crop available. Germinates in 1 to 2 days, ready to harvest in 5 to 7 days. Dense canopy, strong germination rate, natural resistance to mold. Peppery, bright flavor. If you want your first tray to succeed, and you need that confidence to keep going, start here. Broccoli, ready in 9 to 11 days, no soaking required. Forms a clean, consistent canopy. Rich in vitamin C, vitamin K, and sulforaphane, a compound with well-documented antioxidant properties that has been the subject of serious clinical research. Mild flavor, extremely predictable behavior. This is the safest crop to build your system around. Pea shoots. Large seeds mean huge energy reserves. They germinate aggressively, grow upright, and tolerate inconsistent watering better than almost any other crop. Ready in 8 to 10 days. Sweet, clean flavor that converts people who claim they don't like vegetables. If you have kids or a skeptical household, pea shoots are your entry point. Run those 3 for your first few cycles. Everything else, sunflower, kale, mustard, nasturtium, comes after. Step 3. Equipment and soil. You do not need to spend money before your first tray. 2 shallow containers from your kitchen work. 1 with drainage holes, 1 solid underneath it. That's your whole setup to start. When you're ready to invest, standard 10 by 20 growing flats run $2 to $4 each and last through dozens of grow cycles with basic cleaning between uses. For soil, fine-grained potting mix with minimal large particles. You're looking for texture, not brand. Avoid garden soil or any mix heavy in bark and wood chips. Large particles make it difficult for delicate roots to establish evenly, and uneven root establishment means uneven germination. Coconut coir is an excellent alternative. It's inert, holds moisture consistently, and creates a much drier surface environment that naturally reduces mold risk. Fill your tray so the soil surface sits about a 1/4 inch below the rim. That small gap matters at harvest. It keeps your scissors above the dirt line. Step 4. The mistake that kills first trays. Remember the mistake mentioned at the start of this video? Here it is. Most first-time growers water their microgreens from the top. They pour water over the seeds, over the soil, over everything, and within a few days they see it. A fine white spider web spreading across the surface. Mold. The tray is gone. It's not bad luck, it's physics. When you top water a freshly seeded tray, the surface stays wet for extended periods. Wet surface, dense seed coverage, warm temperatures. That's the exact environment mold needs to establish itself. And once it takes hold in a densely planted tray, it spreads fast. The fix is bottom watering, and it changes everything. Before you add soil, pour roughly 2 cups of water into your solid bottom tray first. Then fill your drainage tray with soil on top of it. The moisture wicks upward through the soil from below, keeping the root zone hydrated while the surface stays relatively dry. After you scatter your seeds and before you cover the tray, you add only a single light mist to the surface, just enough to wet the seed coat and help the seeds make contact with the soil. That's the last time water touches the surface until germination is complete. This one technique alone accounts for the difference between most successful and failed first trays. Now you know it before you ever plant your first seed. Step 5. Planting and the blackout phase. Scatter your seeds evenly across the soil surface, corner to corner. The goal is no large gaps and no dense clumps. Both create problems. Clumps of seeds compete for the same moisture and crowd each other out. Gaps mean wasted tray space and uneven harvests. After misting, cover the tray with another tray placed upside down on top. Add a small weight, a full water bottle, a book, whatever you have. This blocks light, raises humidity slightly, and provides gentle downward pressure that simulates being buried underground, anchoring the roots into the soil as they emerge. Check daily. If the surface looks dry, add a small mist. Most varieties will begin pushing upward visibly within 3 to 4 days. When the lid starts lifting from the seedling pressure below, it's time for light. Step 6. Setting up your light. Think about your living situation right now. Where does light come in? How consistent is it? If you have a strong south-facing window with direct sun for 6 or more hours a day, that can work, especially in spring and summer. The limitation is consistency. One cloudy week causes your seedlings to stretch toward a distant light source, building height instead of nutrient density. A standard 4-foot LED shop light, the kind available at any hardware store for $20 to $40, outperforms an inconsistent window every time. Hang it 2 to 4 inches above your tray canopy. Set a cheap outlet timer for 14 to 16 hours of light per day. That's your entire lighting setup. When you first remove the blackout cover, your seedlings will be pale and yellow. Don't panic. They haven't been photosynthesizing. Within 12 to 18 hours of light exposure, you'll watch them shift to green. It's one of those small moments that makes this process genuinely satisfying to repeat. Step 7. Harvest and storage. Harvest when the cotyledon leaves, the first set of leaves, are fully open. For most beginner varieties, this happens around day 8 to 12 under light. The canopy should look full and the stems firm. Use sharp scissors. Cut about an inch above the soil surface, staying clear of the dirt line. Clean tool, clean cut, clean harvest. For storage, lay your cut microgreens loosely in a container lined with a dry paper towel. The paper towel absorbs surface moisture that would otherwise accelerate decomposition. Seal it and refrigerate. Most varieties hold their quality for 5 to 7 days this way. On regrowing, except for wheatgrass, microgreens do not regenerate after cutting. The plant has no energy reserves left, and the soil is largely spent. Take the whole root mat, add it directly to your compost, and start a fresh tray. Over time, composted microgreen waste becomes one of the most active amendments you can add back to any outdoor garden bed. Here's the thing about growing your own food that nobody tells you when you start. It's not really about the money saved. It's not even about the nutrition, as significant as both of those things are. It's about the feeling of knowing that no matter what happens to a supply chain, a grocery store, an inflation report, there is always something growing in your home. Something alive. Something you made happen with your own hands. That feeling compounds. One tray becomes two. Two becomes a rotation. A rotation becomes a system that feeds your household year-round, regardless of what's happening outside. Start with 1 tray of radish or broccoli. Give it 10 days. The people who feel most secure aren't waiting for perfect conditions. They started small, they started simple, and they didn't stop. That's where this begins.